Man, you said, I didn't realize you had so many kids. So I doing my own research on you, something that, sparked a little bit of interest and something that was inspirational as well is that you started this company, started your companies with your son, Cody. So I'm guessing that's your oldest.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. And
Yep.
then you've had Nathan join the ranks as well. Is that the second
Ye-
oldest there? You said you had like the 32 and the 28.
No, my daughter Maddie, my daughter Maddie, she's 28, and then
Okay.
my son Nathan is 24.
Okay.
Um, yeah, they've been with us through the days. Michigan, they both ran. Those two ran Michigan. You know, basically on their own. When I say that, our manufacturing and distribution and and whatnot was ran in Michigan by them. My son Cody was living out there for about 2 years. Yeah, we were doing. Michigan was about 80 million a year, and
Wow.
those two kids were running it. It was amazing. I spent a lot of time on flying. Super proud of those guys, and so now with this company, Nathan has since now been a partner with our store. So it's myself and Cody and Nathan, which are third partners on our store, and Nathan runs that entirely, and then he also is part of our manufacturing in Southern California as well. And then my daughter, she's behind the scenes in sales and marketing as well.
It's a family business.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yep. It's super blessed. I'll be honest with you. We were talking about it the other day, and my son and I have been partners for 13 years now. Um,
Wow.
50-50 partners. Started off that way, and to this day we still are. And we were talking about it, and I said, man, we have disagreements here and there, but our last really big disagreement was probably 3 or 4 years ago, and we spend every single day together. We live like 5 minutes. We used to live like next door to each other for 3 years. Now we live about 5 minutes away from each other. He moved, and then I moved 5 minutes from him, and we're always together. And it's the greatest thing ever, honestly.
That's
It's
that's amazing. Like I said, that's inspirational. I hope to have that same type of relationship. My oldest actually came to me the other day, and he's 12 now, and been having conversations, and he's been starting to have conversations about, what he wants to do and stuff. And he's really good and does great academically. And my whole thing is, I always tell my sons, I want you to learn from the mistakes I've made and be able to become better and take the stuff I've done, learn from it. And if that can help you get a shorter path to success,
yep.
then learn from it and do that, man. And he came to me the other day and he told me that he wants to, because I am involved in cannabis as well. And he came to me, Dad, and he was like, Dad, I want to be a scientist, but I want to be a cannabis scientist, and I want to learn more about it
Well, it just gives
and
me
make new
chills.
things. It did, man. It gave me chills. It almost made me want to cry as well. Like, it was just so
Uh,
emotional. All the emotions right there. I was like, man, I told him, I was like, I said, that's amazing. I said, whatever you want to do. I said, even if it's not that, I said, but that's amazing. I said, any way I can help support you. And we had a little conversation about it, and even showed him some schools that have programs and stuff. And it was a special moment.
that's
And
that's huge. It's
yeah,
huge. I mean, think about when my son came to me, he was in his last year of college and wanted to start growing cannabis. And to this day, he has never smoked a cigarette. He's never smoked weed. He's never nothing. I mean, he
yeah,
drinks. He's 30. He'll be 33 in August. But just at first it was the emotions that I had were, man, we're talking about just at that time, we were kind of on the caregiver side. You remember all
yeah,
that, and
yeah,
man, this is just a rocky road. But I knew how he was, and very driven, and so we went through a lot of rocky stuff. I'm not going to lie. We went through these problems of being raided and having a delivery service and being robbed and at gunpoint. And these are things that I'm so thankful to get through and be a part of his life and going through these things. But man, I never wish this on anybody. And just the fact that we're in a different time where you're sitting with your 12-year-old and you're talking about cannabis, like I said, it literally gives me chills. And yeah, it's just, if you can capture that, and have that type of relationship, I can't describe it. I'll be honest with you. I cannot describe it. And I just, I did a podcast with the guys over at Cannabis 101, and I don't know why, honestly, pretty much any podcast that I've done, and then I've had my own podcast for a few years, but when I start talking about my kids and being able to work together, it's a tough. I'm so fortunate. I can't, I tried to do business with my father in the last, when my son approached me, I was working as the president of my father's company, and it was never anything inspiring to me. I mean, he had 40 years in this business, and all I came in to do was just wind it down. And I was in the phase of a divorce and whatnot, and so it worked out for me at that time. But I knew it was never going to be. It was nothing that I aspired to be in, and and I worked well with my father's, on that end of it. But I enjoy work. I enjoy being with my kids. I've had kids since I was just turned 22. I turned 22 in May, and my son Cody was born in August, and I've never not had kids since then. But I'm one of those people that I love every minute with my kids, and they go everywhere. I've never had that feeling of like, oh my God, I can't do this because of my kids.
Yeah.
But and I get it. I have friends that should have never had kids, and I understand that as well. But I just love it. And so when you're talking about having conversations with your 12-year-old, like that's me, and that's the conversation, and having conversations and telling my kids, like, look, I've made fucking mistakes that you should never have to make in your life, and I gladly lay them out because I don't want them, and like, just like you said, if I can make your path shorter and quicker, this is what I'm here for.
Exactly. And done our jobs as a father.
Yes, and for you to be having that conversation with your kids, and it's like that's a huge parenting thing right there. Hats off to you for that, because parenting is tough. It is tough, but
it is, man.
It's a lot of fun. But there's this thing. I'm a father first and a friend second, and I'm super fortunate to have been through this process and still going through it yet again. Now having my kids as young adults and friends, and still being a father is just, it's amazing. You're gonna love it. Absolutely.
I do. We share a similar story. I'm only 33, became a dad. I was 21, just a couple months away from turning 22. I've loved every minute of it, though. I spent my sons are, I am a father first. You said it very well. Father first, friend second. I'm looking forward to those days. And I love it as they've grown up. The baby years are fun and all, but as they've gotten older, how our relationship has grown, and just watching them become young men, and it challenges you every day to be a better man yourself as well, because of just that relationship that you have with them. And it's
when those eyes are looking at you.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying those eyes are always looking at you.
Oh, always looking at you, man. Oh, they are, and imitating all the time. And it's better than any mirror ever. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Let's get back on. So your son came to you with the idea. I did my own little bit of looking, and I just want to ask if you said you guys did your delivery service. You started it all with the sale of some dirt bikes. Am I right?
That is correct. That's correct. As crazy as it sounds, that is the truth.
To a fully self-funded, right? You guys are self-funded. No outside
Correct.
investors, just a family-run business.
Never have had a dime. And I've said that a million times, and I'll say it a million more. We've never had one dime. I've never taken a loan. Nothing. I'm sitting in my office right now, which is funny because my son and I have always shared an office, and so everybody else has their own offices, and him and I are in I think this is a 10 by 12.
Yeah.
And the picture on the wall, one of the pictures is our first 6 plants in the garage. How we did it, I have no idea, but I used to smoke, I smoke more weed than ever. I've never grown anything, and let alone to have, 6 plants turn into, at that time we had no idea what we were in for, but to turn that into a $150 million a year business and be in multi-states and, and never have taken a dime from anything at all, not even a MasterCard, which, we can't do anyways, but
right.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then
You
right
said
below
13
that
years,
picture
right?
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. Right above that picture, that was what?
No, and it's funny because I'm looking at this, and right below is, I don't know if you ever watched the movie Miracle, but that's one of our favorite movies. We're hockey players and whatnot, but our attorney, which is in-house, has his own office, but he gave Cody a fully signed Miracle picture with all that team signatures, which sits below the other picture, which is kind of ironic. But anyways, yes.
So 13 years ago, you said $150 million a year now.
Well, we were 150 million a year when we had TV, and then we sold TV 2 years ago, and now we're on to Gelato, which is farly exceeding anything that we did.
What made you
California with TV? We were approached multiple times by this company, and we were never looking to sell per se. We were always looking to grow, and at that time, we were in 3 states and going into the 4th state, and we just said, this company really courted us quite well, and we really felt like for us to go to that next level, we needed to be a part of a bigger picture and a bigger team. And it was one of those things. And, this company came again a couple years after the first time, and they wooed us in on that. And we didn't want to leave the company. We negotiated the deal. They wanted us on for 5 years to run the company 100%, and we retained 100% of the rights to run the company. And so when we had the offer, we went to our team, and we pulled our main team in and said, this is where we're at. If anybody does not want to sell, we're not leaving the company. We won't sell the company. We had no needs to sell the company, other than we just wanted to be the biggest that we could be, and that was how it took place. And everybody said, yes, let's do it, as long as you're staying on. And so we did. Very rough situation, very rocky. Once we got through the first stage of the sale, and it just kind of went south from there, to be honest with you. We found out that there were a lot of underlying, things that had taken place, and the company wasn't what we thought it was. And then we were kind of in a sticky situation. And in all honesty, it was probably the roughest year and a half of my life and Cody's life and everybody around us. And then we had gotten ourselves into a position that we couldn't not that we couldn't get out of, we could, and in the end, we realized that this company was failing miserably, and so we offered to purchase the company back, and that wasn't an option on their end, so we did a forced buyout, and that was it, and we left. And that company has since failed miserably.
Oh, that's sad to hear.
I think there's.
What happened to the team over there? You guys, I mean, because you said you had an original team, and you went to them with the option of like, if you don't want to sell, we're not going to sell. So they must have been with you for a while then on the buildup of all this.
Yes. So the majority have been with us for a minimum of 5 years. Man. And Vanessa and a few others have been with us for about 9-10 years. So when we did the forced buyout, that whole team, Cody and I kind of excused ourselves from there as we needed to. Mm-hmm. And shortly thereafter, the rest of the team decided that they could not be a part of it. And so they left, and then they came knocking on the door saying, what are you guys going to do now? And so, Cody and I had no plans initially of going back into the market on that end of it. And we had always had other things going. And so that same team, we sat and said, if you guys want to do it again, we will do it, but everybody has to be a part of it and 100%. So Cody and I, over a span of about a month, 45 days, kind of met and talked every day about what we wanted to do if we wanted to run this side of it again. And then we had the meeting with those people, and everybody said they were on board. So here we are. And that's awesome. We are exceeding what we ever did in California with the ladder company, and we're just having fun. This has been, like I said, we never wanted to close out that chapter with PV. We wanted that company to grow. That was our baby. And we really felt like this company we got snowed into it. That's the only way I can put it. And I've never,
because it sounds like Gelato wasn't the exit strategy from what you're telling me.
You mean no?
Like after PV, that starting up Gelato wasn't necessarily the next thing on you guys' mind.
There was never a plan. And to this day, we walked into that meeting when we did decide to move forward again, and my son came up with the name Gelato, and that was it. But no, we had a 5-year contract and literally retained 100% control of the company for those 5 years. There's a lot of stuff, and it's all public record on earnouts and other things that took place. And it wasn't truthfully and honestly, it was not the money. It was the bigger picture of down the road, and and just always building and legacy for the bigger word of all of that. And it's really unfortunate. We really, that was 100% our baby, and we really figured that we had this set up so that it couldn't fail. But unfortunately, sometimes it just doesn't work that way. And our 5 years was cut down to a year and a half, and just a lot of things that unfortunately, when you get into the public sector, there's a lot of things behind the scenes and some shady and but yeah.
What would you say is if you could give someone a tip, a drop of some knowledge, building up this empire with PV, Platinum Vapes, before you guys sold it off and everything, being 100% self-funded. How did you do that? What was the secret to that, of not taking outside investments, especially in cannabis? Because in cannabis, it's not a get rich scheme. You got to put a lot of hard work in, and it takes money, definitely takes money to make money in cannabis. How were you able to do what you did?
It's the same conversation that I promise, as I don't even know you that well, but as you're talking about these conversations with your kids and whatnot, it's a very easy, and my dad was very smart about, having that conversation with me. Live within your means. And it's the same rule of thumb in business, is grow within your means. Don't be rushed. This isn't, as much as they call it the green rush, there's no rush. We're so infant in this stage of cannabis throughout our nation. But everybody is in this big rush to expand, and they're getting money that is unimaginable, and it's just build within your means. You don't need that money. You don't need that outside money. And I understand. I mean, I didn't come from money. I didn't have, money sitting on the table to be able to go do this. I mean, we were in a different time. I understand that. But if you're going to do it, if I were to look at it, from a right now standpoint, I would say angel investors are probably the best if you're going to go that route, because those are the people that are really going to believe in you.
Yeah.
And then stay your course. Don't follow that big, that big dollar sign. It's not there. It's down the road. And I lived a lot of years in this industry with, paycheck to paycheck. And I'm not talking big paychecks either. And I owned a company that, when we were doing, $30-40 million a year, I was the same. Nothing had ever changed. We put every dime back into this company, every dime. I wasn't living in a fancy house or any of that. And that my advice would be is living within your means, 100%.
That's just good life advice in general. With Gelato, are you guys gonna expand like you did before, or are you just gonna grow your current market that you have right there in California? I mean, California is probably one of the more saturated markets as it is with cannabis. So how do you maintain relevancy and stand apart?
Well, I think in this go around, and my son and I, had these conversations, was like, yes, we are in Michigan right now, and we are getting ready to launch in Missouri, but our main focus is California. And it's funny because other companies are leaving California. Yeah. And, our main focus is to be that saturation in the California market. And that's what we're doing. We're doing everything that we can, but we're staying within our means. We're not trying to be in 700-800 stores, immediately. We're maintaining our model throughout the market, and making sure that we continue to give the hands-on to every single store versus just throwing up in the market.
Yeah. What is now Gelato? Speak to me about the brand. What is special about the products that you guys create? What is your, like I said, what sets you apart from other stuff? Fun. That's gotcha.
It. I mean, our marketing, and once again, I've said it, my son's a genius when it comes to that side of it, and the sub brands that we have under this. The marketing is fun. It's no longer when you talk about demographics. What is the demographic for fun? How do you describe that? You can't take a 21-year-old and not have fun with that. But then what's the reason that a 75, 85-year-old can't have fun with it? And we see that across the board. So when we set the company previously and we were looking at the demographics, we did this whole thing. We hired a company, and they came in and they were like, okay, let's describe the model person or persons, and female and male, and what's the demographic? And it's like, okay, it's 28 to 35, and they drive a BMW, and they have a dog, and they live in a high rise. It was like, I was sitting in this thing going, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah.
And that's what everybody was doing. I said, this is the dumbest thing ever. So now we're only appealing to our company is only going to appeal to a 28 to 35-year-old, and they're driving a BMW. Literally, that's what we did. And we described this. And the female, she shops, at Nordstrom, and the male shops here. And this is a clothes. We literally took these two people and we made characters out of them. We gave them names and everything that they did. And in the end, I said, this isn't who we appeal to. But, that we spent we've always done pretty well as far as trying to make sure that we're not spending money frivolously. That was one of the dumbest things we ever did, honestly. And it was, I don't remember the number, but it was a dumb number that we put out to this company to do this. And in the end, we said, what happened here? What did we pigeonhole ourselves into? A guy driving a BMW, living in a high rise with I think at that time, like the dog, we even had the brand of the dog. It was just like
my God.
the dumbest shit I ever. But that at that time, everybody was venturing into cannabis, and they were like trying to make this as if you were, like a clothing company or whatever. And so so this time it's just.
So how did you approach it?
As far as the gelato?
Yeah, how did you approach with Gelato? You hired these people and they threw all that out the window. So how did you approach it?
No, we didn't. That was with PV.
That was with PV. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. This was early on with PV. No, with this company, we literally, the 12 of us all got together. My son was like, "Oh, we're gonna call it Gelato." Okay, that sounds fun. That sounds good. What do we want it to be? And everybody was just fun. Let's just have fun with it. Okay, what does that look like? And it's like, why did I ask that question? What does fun look like? Well, we can show you what fun, and that's just it. In cannabis, let's just have fun with it. Like, it's like we're out of the closet. We're not having to hide behind the doors with no names on them or any of that. Right. We're licensed. We're right. It's like, let's just let people have fun with it. And that's it. So if you're ever at our office, it's like a Willy Wonka. We got candy on the walls, and the floors are all, it's just a fun place. And then our store literally is like a Willy Wonka store. And we just have fun, and that's it. There's no other way around it. The dark black and gold, and as we were previously, those days are done for us.
And you guys said now you are going into Michigan with Gelato.
We are in Michigan currently.
You are in Michigan.
Yes, and we are just almost ready to launch. When are we launching in Missouri, Cody? There, within 30 days.
Nice. Congratulations. Are you guys ever going to come over into the Nevada or Arizona market?
Yes, we are getting ready to work with a company in Arizona. That was going to be one of our meetings this week out there, but that got postponed. We'll be there at Resort World this weekend. But yes, or awesome. Vegas, sorry.
Awesome. Yep. Now, there's a lot of with the new cannabis lounges and stuff going on. There's a lot of new stuff happening here in Vegas. It's exciting. Exciting to see.
Yeah, that was always our plan. We were just getting ready to launch in Arizona, the previous company, and Nevada. And that, later on did take place, but nonetheless, we're excited about that. But once again, there's no fast move on us either. So we're not in a rush, but it's happening.
Sure. Yep. Good, man. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and I would love to maybe sometime, since we're not too far apart, you're ever out in Vegas sometime. Unfortunately, I'll be busy this weekend and gone. I'm actually going to be heading out to Arizona for some work for a week, but should catch up sometime. We actually have one of those licenses for a cannabis consumption lounge here in Las Vegas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the owner. We applied for it last year. We were able to get it. We got awarded it, and so we're going through that process. And man, there's so much to learn. This is our first step into this side of the cannabis business and my first step into this legal side of it. And we've done some other things.
I
in the
would
past
I would
month, so.
absolutely love to. And if there's any way that that we can help, or in just in having conversations, whatever, I'm always open. Absolutely. We live and breathe this, and once again, I mean, it's great because we cover all facets of it, and having our family involved and whatnot. It's yeah, I would absolutely anytime. And if you're ever in San Diego,
yeah,
absolutely send me a text, or this is my cell phone number.
Okay.
Or actually, we're on a Zoom call, but I think I called you on my cell. Anytime you're in San Diego, I'd love to have you. It's always fun to have people check out our stuff over here. It's kind of a fun
I was
spot
reading
for us.
about I was reading about the store. Like you said, it sounds like a Willy Wonka factory.
It's so much fun. So we're doing our last bites. We just launched at Hall of Flowers. I don't know if were you at Hall of Flowers?
I was not, but I did read about it. Your after dark party, like you were talking about at the beginning, and I was not able to go, but I did read about it.
Yeah, so we launched our last bites, which are the end of the cone. If you've ever had the drumstick, so we've now that's an edible that we are manufacturing here at this facility, and it's just gone absolutely insane. We sold out. We anticipated, but we weren't even close on. We sold everything out in, I think our head of sales said, less than a day.
Oh wow! I imagine.
Yeah.
I've had a product similar to that, but on the hemp side of things, I tested something that was called from Packwoods from a company out in Cali, and amazing. Oh, yeah. I love it. And so when I saw that you guys did that, that's why I was asking if you're going to be coming out here anytime soon. I'm just gonna have to make a trip out to Cali so I can get some of those, because those are delicious.
Oh,
I'm sure they'd be amazing.
I can. I mean, I don't know where if there's a way to leave them off, but like I said, I could bring some out with me when I come out this weekend.
Yeah.
If you have a spot that, I mean, it's my personal, you know what I mean?
Yeah. We could connect up. We can connect offline. I got your cell phone number. I'll shoot you a text from my cell phone number.
Yeah.
We can connect and make something
happen.
Yeah,
do that.
Like I said, just great talking to you. I definitely want to connect in the future. I'd love for you to meet the owner of the companies that I work for, and my partner. I think you guys would get along great. He's doing the things the same way. He's very family oriented. He's brought a lot of us in, and he has some of his childhood friends that he's brought in. We all run it like a family, self-funded. He has several other enterprises that he's taken no outside investment on, and it allows you to keep your vision and your goals and take care of the people you want to the way you want to.
Yes.
I like that.
You said that was 100% it. We don't have to have board meetings. It's myself and my son when it comes to, ultimate decisions, but we sit at our table with our group, and we all go through this stuff together. And that's probably the biggest benefit, is that it doesn't take us, 3 weeks and a couple board meetings to get something through. We do it in about 5 minutes.
Yep. I think that's a good thing about companies like this. Last question for you, man, before we go. Do you smoke? What's your go-to, bro? What your son? No, I know. Maybe you said your son doesn't, but what's your go-to? Are you a concentrate wax type of guy? Are you a flower?
No. As much as we do really well and we have really good concentrates, no, that's not. That's rocket fuel to me. I like to stay down. I love just good solid flour,
Same.
and doesn't have to be anything. I'm not a super potent person. I don't look at the numbers. I look at the strain and the flavor, and there's nothing, that as anybody doesn't do too much these days, but the bongs and good pre-rolls. Our lollies are amazing. They're absolutely amazing.
Yep.
The peach rings are probably, to me, the best, but I mean, and once again, I mean, it shows in the market, but just good flour.
Good flour. Yeah, I agree, man.
A good pre-roll. The old days of grinding up some really good flour, putting it in a pre-roll and rolling your own, like that's that to me. But then I got people here that they love to dab on top of dab and whatever else.
Yeah, I can't do that, man.
I don't know how much further you can get in the high zone. My wife loves our edibles. I'm not an edible person. I do edibles only at night for sleep. But otherwise I'm not an edible person. If I am, it's, I'm a one shot, 10 milligram. That's it. Other than that, just this flour. I guess it's old school. I don't know, boring. But
no, I don't think it's boring, man. I love flour. I'm the same way. I don't care about the constant, the supposed percentage, just the strain, the terpenes. Give me my straight beaker tube and let me grind it up and throw it in the bowl, and I'm good to go, man. That's all I need.
Nothing like a triple chamber ice bong.
That's right.
And
yep.
And then trying to get that thing to clear. Yeah.
Hey, some good flour will do the same thing that a dab hit will do for you. You just got to find the right flour. That's all I'm saying.
I believe that to be true, 100%. And it's not the most potent THC value on the flour either. It's a combination of a lot of those things. But yeah,
I agree.
Well,
good talking with you today.
If you ever make it over here, we got plenty of that here too.
Awesome, man. I will make it a point to. You take care, George, and I'll catch you some other time. I'll hit you up. Thanks for being here today. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
The opinions expressed on this CannabisRadio.com program are those of the guests and hosts and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff and management of CannabisRadio.com. Any rebroadcast, republication, or retransmission of this program without proper consent is prohibited.